So we're here once again in the heart of Staten Island, a great community right here, and we got to wake up once and say, does anybody appreciate what we go through when somebody comes forward and suggests that a BESS unit should be built right here? It's insane. They're unsafe. If they catch fire, as they've done throughout the country, they have to evacuate neighborhoods. They close highways down. No matter where you see in other parts of the country, they typically are often miles from people's homes, let alone businesses. And yet there's people in this city and this state who think it's a good idea to dump one of these things in your backyard. And what we've been banging the drum, figuratively, literally, that you do not deserve to have one of these next to your home or business. And it's plain, simple English. And it's unfair, it's borderline immoral. I would argue it's borderline illegal to do this to you. I live in Great Kills, for full disclosure. There is one literally right next to a gas station, and these poor people who have 6 or 7 homes around were looking at a view of the Raritan Bay and Great Kills Harbor, and now looking at about a 25-foot concrete wall. So the powers that be think this is good for the people of Staten Island. We think it's bad. We think it's wrong, and we've been very fortunate to have a good guy on our side of these fights for every one of these. Some have pulled back and left. We urge this one never to happen, and that's Assemblyman Sam Pirozzolo. Sam?
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Thank you for coming out today. Just as our borough president said, all the electeds on Staten Island have been working at this together. But as I was just talking to our esteemed reporter from the Staten Island Advance, and when I use the word Democrat, I don't want to demean all Democrats, but we're talking about the socialists that are here. We're just really talking about one-party rule. So if you look over here, they have this little thing. It's kind of a decline, and there's water kind of running between it, and the water's always running. And I don't really remember what they're called, if they're called streams, if they're called rivers, but I do know that there's a move on to save the whales. There's a move on to save the water. There's a move on to save the environment. So what are we about to do? We're about to take a potentially toxic when it catches fire, battery site that the fire department all across the country, if not the planet, will not put these things out with water, because when they do, that poisoned water will leach into the ground and leach into whatever that stuff is running down there. I think that might be water at the bottom of this stream. So what we're going to do is poison our own water with a battery that catches on fire. And if you know me, I say there are 2 types of lithium-ion batteries. Those that are on fire and those that are not on fire yet, because we've seen it happen all over the place. So it's rather ironic that we want to save the planet, but we're going to poison our own groundwater. And when we talk about this, I just want everybody to understand what a battery site is, because they're going to tell you that it helps save the environment. It's a green energy product. There is zero green about a storage facility. A battery storage facility, well, actually, you want to talk about green, there's a lot of green. It's the kind of cash green that you have. Because what this will be doing will be charging itself at night, I don't know, whatever the low time period is when it's inexpensive to charge, and they're going to sell it back every single day. They like to make you say, oh, don't worry, it's for Westerly, it's for Castleton Corners. Whenever the power goes out, we're going to have electricity for you. That's baloney. They make it sound like, you open up your closet and you have a box of batteries there and you need 2 more batteries, you pull them out. You need some batteries, you pull them out. That's not what this is. This is a money maker. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're buying electricity, they're selling electricity. Whether any is going to be available for us when we need it is completely unknown. But the electricity that these are saving, because they don't generate, are coming from the standard fuel burning, coal burning, fossil fuel burning, gas burning energy producers all across the country. There's not one. They say, well, peaker power plants will close down. In Albany, I just did some testimony debating with someone. Not one peaker plant in this country has closed down because of battery sites. It's all a farce. So don't let anybody ever tell you that it's saving the environment. And even if it were, it's not saving your environment, or maybe it is, but it's hurting somebody else's environment somewhere else. So I'm very proud to stand with the borough president. I want to say thank you for calling this a press conference. All of these sites are different. We've managed to close down 2 of them, but they're not all the same. They're like a step up from solar companies, and I don't want to say solar companies are bad. I don't want to get in trouble. But you know how everybody feels about solar companies? Battery companies are the same thing. A couple guys get together, they get $20 million, they invest, they put it in, and it's a constant return on their money for nothing. We absorb 100% of the risk and get 0% of the benefit, and that's what we got to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much, Sam. And he touched upon a word. You know, many of us here fought the good fight when we had 5% of the city's population. We got 100% of the garbage. Then we were dumped on, figuratively, but literally dumped on. And that's what's happening now with these storage systems. We have 5%, 6% of the population. We're planning to get 50% of the storage systems across New York City. That's the unconscionable thing. You know, a few years back, we convened a meeting. Every entity that has jurisdiction here, from the building department to city planning to NYSERDA to Con Ed, the fire department, I don't know, it had to be 16 different groups. And I asked one simple question to each of them. I said, whatever your motivation is here, I don't agree with it, but whatever your motivation or goal is, do these things belong next to people's homes or their businesses? And every one of the people with jurisdiction said no. I said, but here you are collectively jamming this down the people of Staten Island's throats, even though you know in your heart and your head that it's wrong. And these people put their head on their pillow at night, even they know it's wrong. That's unconscionable, and it's immoral for what they're doing to these people. And I'm going to, before I call up some great civic guys, I want to have our land use guy, Vince McDermott, to walk you through how they're playing these games. Vince?
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, guys. We're fortunate to have leaders that have common sense. We live in a city of 8.5 million, and the reason that we can live and work in close proximity without too many problems is that we have strong laws and we follow them. So very briefly, I'm going to just break it down. There's 3 different kinds of zones. R for residential, the most important, where we raise our family. We have our schools, we have our houses of worship. 2 is C, commercial, buy a loaf of bread, do some banking. But the 3rd is way different. It's M, manufacturing, industrial. You have concrete plants, you have steel fabrication, you have heavy duty equipment. It's dangerous for people. And in amongst that group is power production and power storage. Those things from those original planners that were so smart said have to be away from people. So what happened towards 2019, the building department had to categorize some new things to them. Solar panels, they said, oh, that's not so bad. That could sort of fit into a commercial zone. The antennas for the cell phones, that's not so bad. And it's as if they lumped this in with that grouping, not so bad. Judging by what I see here, those are blast walls. So when I was in private practice, I did a office building. We had a transformer in front. The city required me, DOB required that there be a blast wall. God forbid the transformer blew up, it would protect the building. So now they got blast walls around these things. The other thing that the building department takes really seriously is carbon monoxide. So when you read the reports of these fires that take place, and there's been a lot of them all around the country, not all of them, but a lot of them have carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, the building department, when they approve plans, every floor has a carbon monoxide detector. If you have an attached garage to your house, you'll be required to build a 4-inch concrete step, so God forbid you keep your car running, the gas, which is heavy, won't drift into your house. So here we have a miniature piece of industry, power plant stuck in the neighborhood, or potentially. So, I'm grateful to work for Borough President Fossella and this tall gentleman, Sam, because they understand how ludicrous it is, and that it'll have to be fixed.
Thank you. Thank you, Vince. Appreciate it. And Westerly is one of the nicest communities around. Great people, just a great community. It's Americana 101 here. And leading the Civic is Mark Anderson, Westerly Improvement Society. Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. As most of you know, that this is a problem site for a long time. We have never seen any development on this site for good reason. These folks back here bought their houses knowing that this was a residential zone here with a commercial overlay, that a store or something similar to that could be built here. And now they're looking at big walls and a very serious hazard here. And it's not a question of if there will be a problem, it's when there will be a problem. And some of the questions we've been asking, we reached out to the state DEC, who apparently has or had jurisdiction on sites like this. Recently, they have been put out of that role because now there's a threshold that this site doesn't fit into, which makes it too small for them to even look at. They have responded to our questions saying, we're hands off this now. So DOB, Department of Buildings, apparently is the one who's in the lead for sites like this. And DCP, which is the city version of the Environmental Protection Division, it's our understanding that they don't have any say in this either. They could be asked questions, but they don't have any official oversight. And that's very concerning for us because this water always runs here. Water and these types of plants don't mix well. And this water actually runs not only through the site, it runs completely through Westerly, as everyone here knows. And we have a problem when we get a lot of water here. This is just one site where we see that there's a trench. It goes under the ground here, and there's another trench over here. There's another trench down the road, and it runs that way through pipes and trenches through people's yards from here to the far corner of Westerly at Forest Avenue and Crystal Avenue, and we have flooding. When it rains, when Ida came, here's all the problem areas. We're here right now. It runs completely through Westerly, and we have flooding. So not only does the water run through Westerly, it comes out of these pipes and trenches when it rains. When Ida came, 2 blocks down, Starbucks was closed for almost 3 months because of the flooding that they saw from this stream. So when there's a problem here, it's gonna come through this water and completely through our town and flood out all our streets with God knows what. And nobody is responsible to tell us how it's not going to affect us. So, I don't know what else to say, but we're letting the powers that be know that we see the problems with this. We don't understand why they don't. And this is not the site for this, clearly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Well said, Mark. Thank you. And just, it's unrelated, but they're related. The same people who are saying this is essential to the people of Westerly and Staten Island are the same people who are proposing that we remove parking from Bay Street to the College of Staten Island along Victory Boulevard in the morning and the afternoon. So there's the same nutty logic without any input from the people here. So that's what we're getting these days, folks, just so you know what we're dealing with. And it's not just you. Yep.
So secession might be a good idea.
Secession, I'm full for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the hell out of here. This is crazy. Every day we wake up, another thing, Korean War Veterans Park, whatever it is. But it's not unique to Westerly. It's not unique to Great Kills. We have a good champion on the North Shore, Port Richmond, is Mario Bonviaggio. Mario?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Mario Bonviaggio. So, again, we're here opposing another site where the community opposes you, the people, homeowners and tenants, and we're being overlooked and dismissed. We're consistently working on another site in our neighboring community over in Graniteville, 2166 Forest Avenue. Borough President Fossella has the lead on it, along with Sam Pirozzolo and his office. And it just seems like no one's listening. And no one's listening to you, the community, and particularly the civic organizations that represent thousands within their respective communities. So, when we need someone to advocate for individual communities, there's an advocate that's in city government, the public advocate's office. We have sent out, you gotta love Google Gmail, we sent out 14 emails to our advocate in pertaining to our serious concerns about the large BESS station that's being installed on Forest Avenue. Not one response, not one acknowledgement that we're in receipt of your email. I want to know where the accountability is. It has to be more than just, two representatives that represent ours. We have a person that oversees all of city government. And to be quite honest, this waterway leads to Port Richmond, where there's an outlet into the Kilvan Cull. So as far as we are from West, well, not that far, but far enough that this can affect the residents of Port Richmond. And we were also recipients of flooding, massive flooding from Ida and, and other recent hurricane storms. And it's just, it's such a bad place. I mean, the distance from a firehouse is a concern. Residents right there within feet away is a concern. I'm sure that the homeowners are here. But, we also have a new partner in civics out in Queens, Juniper Park, where there's 5 issues: senior housing, pre-K, New York City Park, in the middle of a commercial district, and a distance from the firehouse, more than a mile away. And they want to nestle a BESS station equivalent to this right in the middle of their community, and they have no say. Councilmember Wong, he's fighting the fight. He's going to exhaust all his means, just like these 2 representatives here. And again, I thank you for putting these issues on a front burner for all the communities. We stand by Westerly and any other civic on the North Shore and throughout Staten Island. I thank you all for coming, and I thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mario. If there is anybody else who'd like to come up, Mike, come on up.
Just one comment. The component that really is important in this area, besides the residents who have a stake in having this so close to their home, are the merchants here on Victory Boulevard. The Victory Boulevard Merchants Association is organized, and last week had a meeting where this was brought up. And they endorsed it as pro-business. These people pay taxes. Why can't we have this here? And the only reason they said it was approved was because they were going to push the lithium-ion batteries to the rear property line where people live. And that means so close to their homes that they would be a danger to them in the near future. So I think we have to reach out to them to persuade them to come to our side and to oppose this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Any questions? Yeah.
What about lawsuits? Has anything gone to the courts? What can we do?
We're doing the best we can because we do not control the process. What we should do, what should be the process, is we as a community go to those decision makers that I mentioned earlier. Remember, this is all about a left's agenda to impose all these environmental issues upon us that they can't comply with. So the end justifies the means. This is the means to their end. And until those changes are made at the top, all we can do is gather and argue as loudly as we can that they should listen to the community and don't jam the thing down their throats. Do good for Westerly, do good for Staten Island, but no, they want to do harm to us. I don't want to mislead you in saying that a lawsuit would be favorable. I don't know, given the climate these days. I just hope somebody out there is listening to us and say, put the brakes on this. We were successful, as Sam mentioned, twice so far. We've been to almost every site, if not every site. And like today, this is what we're doing. So that's where we're at. Yeah, James.
When we hear that an association is in favor of this site, do we have names behind the association's members?
Chair of the Victory. Christine DeHart is the chair of the.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise. But well, I hope they maybe take a step back and realize that this is not good for Westerly. All right, we're good. We gotta go.